Hi, welcome to QA Scripts. In this video, we will learn what is control statement, how many types of control statements Java supports, what is their syntax, and also we will look at the examples to understand easily. What is control statement? In our real life, we always use statements which controls and changes the situation. Let me take one example. A student has written an exam of 10 plus 2 and is expecting the result. Now he thinks that if he gets result as 85%, then he will join to engineering course. If he is not getting 85%, means if he gets less than 85%, then he may think or he may join to some other course. Here there is a condition. If the condition met or if condition becomes true, then one kind of decision is going to take it. If condition is false, means the condition is not met, then he is going to take another kind of decision. Here we are going to use some control statements, that is if. So if condition is true, then he will take the some of the examples. Let me take one more example. If he gets 95 or 90% in engineering, then he may think to go for doing MS. Likewise, if he gets visa, then he will go for MBA in US. If he doesn't get visa, then he may choose this college in his country, like that. Here the common thing, all of the examples what I have given is the condition. If condition is true, one kind of decision is going to taken out. If condition is not true, then another kind of decision is going to taken out. So based upon the control statement, the situation or the decisions are going to change. The same way, we have control statements in Java. Based upon the true or false, the flow of your program is going to decide. Let us see what are the control statements we have, that is the types of control statements in Java. We have if else, do while loop, for loop, for each loop, and switch cases. So these are the different types of control statements Java is going to support. Let us look at if else control statement and what is the syntax it's going to have. So this is the syntax of if control statement. Here we are going to use if keyword all small followed by a bracket. Inside the bracket we are going to give a condition. That condition we are going to check it. If condition is true, then we are going to have a curly bracket, open curly bracket, as well as close curly bracket. In between this open and close curly bracket, we will going to place some of the statements. So here condition, if condition is true, then the statements present inside that curly bracket will going to execute. If condition is not true, then those statements will not going to execute. Here we need to give importance. If you want to place only one statement inside the curly bracket, then it is not necessary to use curly brackets directly. You can use if of condition, then at the below you can place the statement if it is a only one statement. If you want to place multiple statements, then you have to use or surround by the open as well as curly bracket after using if and condition. Here is a simple example what I have created. I am going to create one class called if else, having main method inside it, and I will define different variables of int, data type. Here int a equals to 25. The 25 is a value what I have assigned already. Then int b equals to 50, int c equals to 40, int d equals to 35. These are the initial values I will assign. Later I will use a condition, that is if of a equals to 25. Here don't get confused with the single equal and double equal. If you use single equal, that acts as assignment operator that helps you to assign the value to a variable. If you use double equals to, then it acts as a comparison operator. So here I have used if of a equals to 25, means I am verifying a value whether it is a 25 or not. Anyway, I have given initial value as 25, hence the condition will be true. Hence the statement present inside the curly bracket will get executed, that is system dot out dot println of value of a is plus a means that 25, that will get executed. I have placed another if loop where I am verifying b value and printing the statement based upon the value what I have assigned. Like that we can create any if statements and any variable. Let me go to Eclipse and let me write this program and execute, so it will be easy to understand. Here I have used same class and defined the variables. I have written more than one if. So here in the first if I have placed a equals to 25, means I am verifying the value of a. Yes, the value of a is 25, initial value of a is 25, hence the condition becomes true. This statement will get executed. The line number 10 statement will get executed. When it comes to another if, I am verifying if equals to 25, means I am verifying that whether b value is 25. No, the b value, initial value what I have assigned here is 50, so the condition is false, then this statement will not get executed. Likewise I have given if statement for c as well as d. Again d is not matching, means condition is not going to true, hence the system dot out dot println of d will not get executed. Only the message present at the line number 10 and at the line number 16 will get executed. Let me execute this piece of code. Sorry, that was previous code got executed. Let me execute again. Okay, now we are getting values here, that is value of a is 25, that is this statement is getting out, as well as value of c is 40. This the statement which is present at the line number 16 is going to execute and print it out. It is not necessary that we have to write separate if blocks. If you have more than one values to be checked or one condition to be checked, you can use else part as well. How to use? Let me comment this piece of code and let me uncomment which is already written below that program. Here I have same variables, that is int a, b, c and d. Instead of writing in a separate if blocks, I have written in the same if block, that is a equals to 26. Of course the condition is not true, hence this will not get executed. The line number or the statement present at the line number 29 is not going to execute. Likewise we have else if. Here I have not used a separate if block. Instead of that I have used else if, then I am placing the condition. Remember, if you have multiple condition to be checked, then you can go for if else block. If you have only one condition to be checked, go for if block. For that also you can have else part, but in the else part you cannot have another condition because you would like to test or verify only one condition. Now here I have more than one condition to be checked, so I have used else space if. Again I am opening the curly bracket and closing the curly bracket. Each and every else part should be having, else if block should be having curly open as well as closed curly brackets. Here I have used three if else keywords and conditions for that. So here the condition of D is true because the value assigned is 35. Again here I am checking the value as same, hence only the statement or the message present at the line number 35 will get executed. Let me execute this piece of code. Yes, here is the result, that is value of D is 35. So in this way you can use if control statement as well as if else control statements. Next is do while. Let us see the syntax of do while control statement. Here is the syntax. We have to use a keyword called do followed by open curly bracket. Inside the open curly bracket you can place any number of statements and you have to close the curly bracket. At the closing the curly bracket you have to use a keyword called while, and at the while you have to check the condition whether the condition is true or false. If condition is true, then it will still executes or it will send the execution to do statement and it will continue. The point is the condition will be, or the loop will be executing till the condition becomes false. Once the condition becomes false, the execution will complete and it will come out of the do while loop. Here is the example. I have created a class called do while having main method inside it, and I'm sorry, there is a mismatch. Yes, here is the example where I have created a class called do while having main inside it. Inside the main I will define one variable, that is x equals to 10. The initial value what I am assigning is 10. Then I will use a keyword called do all small. Then I am opening the curly bracket. Inside the curly bracket block I am going to use a system.out to print the initial value of x, that is value of x. Then I am trying to use increment operator, that is plus plus. So here I am saying x plus plus. It means this will increase value of x by 1. Initially it will be 10. When the execution comes at the line number 8, the value becomes 11. At the line number 9 I am closing the curly bracket. At the same time I am using another keyword called while, because this is a do while loop, hence I am using while keyword, and here I am placing the condition, that is x less than 20. So this piece of code will get executed till x becomes 20. Once x becomes 20, then condition becomes false, then the execution will come out of this loop. To see how it really executes, let us put one breakpoint at line number 7 and let us execute in debug mode. Okay, here I have pressed F11 and execution started. Then it is the execution is there at the line number 7 where I have placed the breakpoint. Let me click on yes. Now the Eclipse view has changed to debug mode. Here if you see, the x value, initial x value is 10, and when I press F6, it has printed value of x as 10 because the initial value is 10. Let me click on F6 again. Now if you look at here, it's saying that x equals to 10. The x value is 11 because it has added by 1. Now it is checking whether x is less than 20. Yes, the condition is true. Let me add this to watch. Here it says that true. Now let me add x value as well to watch, then it will be easy to understand. Now the value is 11. Let me press F6 again. The cursor went back to line number 6, that is do loop. Again it will come inside till the x value is 11. Now it will get added by 1, that is 12, but the condition is true because 12 is less than 20. Let me go on clicking F6. Now x value is 19. Still the condition is true. When I press F6, it will go back, and now it will get added by 1. The x value is 20. The condition becomes false because here I have placed as x value should be less than 20, but here already value becomes 20. That's why the condition is false. When I press F6, it will not go inside the do. Instead of that, directly it will jump from a do, that is line number 6 to line number 10, so that it will skip the statements which are present in that do while loop. Like this it will execute. Here in this do while loop, we have to observe one point is, even though the x value is not true or the condition is not true, at least one time the x value is going to print out. Let me say x value as 20 or maybe 30. So as per condition, the x value is more than 20, hence the condition is false. Still when I execute this piece of code, the code will execute and the x value will going to print at least first time. So the important point what we have to observe here is, even though condition is false, in case of do while, first value or the first statement is going to execute. When it comes to while, then condition becomes false, so remaining code will not get executed. But it's exactly opposite in case of while. So what actually while and how exactly it looks like in terms of syntax is very simple. Syntax follows as, while keyword will be there at the starting only, and the condition will be checked at the first line. If condition is not true, then it will not execute the statements which are present inside the curly bracket. Even first time also it will not get executed because the condition is going to check at the entrance of the do while. While. In case of do while, the condition is checked at the end, hence even though value is not true, at least one time it used to get execute. Here is the simple example I have used. I have created while class having main inside it, and int data type x value, a variable called x I have created and assigned initial value as 10. Now I am checking the x should be less than 20. Of course x is less than 20, hence the code inside it will get executed until x becomes 19. Once x becomes 20, the condition will become false, the execution will come out of the loop. Let us see using uh, example what I have written in my Eclipse. Here I have used a while loop. As usual, same logic. Let me execute this piece of code. When I execute this piece of code, the result would be same, because here I am placing x of value of x is so and so. The value start from 10 and it will go on printing till 19. Once it becomes 20, the control statement will becomes, the condition of the statement will become false and it will come out of it. Let me change the x value as 30 and execute. When I execute this, no messages are displaying inside console because it is not allowing me to enter inside this loop, because at the starting of loop only it will verify whether x value is less than or equals to less than 20, but in my case it's more than 20, hence the statement present inside the curly bracket is not get executing. This is a simple difference between do while as well as while loops. Let us see another kind of loop, that is for loop. For loop is also same as do while and while loops, but it is more compact and systematically designed. For loop executes a group of statements as long as condition is true. The logic is same for do while as well as while and for loop also, but syntax of this for loop will be entirely different when it compares to when you compare to do while loop. Here is the syntax. Here we have to use a keyword called for followed by a bracket. Inside the bracket we have to initialize the variable, where in case of while as well as do while we were declaring and initializing the variables outside the if control statements, but in case of for loop you have to declare and initialize inside the bracket. Of course we can define outside as well, but it's always suggested to define inside the bracket of for. So here we say that as expression 1, and that is separated by semicolon, and there will be a expression 2. What is this expression 2? Is the condition what we would like to verify, that is x is less than 20. Such kind of expression we'll going to give it here, and then we'll separate by semicolon again, and we'll place a third condition, that is expression 3. The expression 3 is nothing but increment or decrement operator what we're going to use. Inside the open as well as curly bracket we're going to use statements. It may be one statement or multiple statements. Here is a example for loop. Inside the main I have used for keyword, and I have declared and initialized a variable I of data type int, that is int I equals to 0 separated by semicolon, then I less than 10. I am verifying I must be less than 10, and I am increasing the value of I by 1 at the third expression, that is I plus plus. Inside the for loop I have placed one system.out.println, and I am trying to print the value of I. So it will start with 0, then it will add 1 till 9, it will get executed and printed. Once the value of I becomes 10, the control statement will come out of loop, and it will complete the execution statement. Let us see the example in Eclipse. Okay, so here I have used int data type, then I have compared, then I am initializing. Let me execute this piece of code. When I execute, it says that value of I is 0, that is here. Then it goes on adding, and when it reaches I value as 10, the value will come out, the execution will come out of the program. Here we have to look at some of the very important points. Let me say, here is the expression 1. First time when it start execution, the execution pointer or JVM will look at the expression 1 as well as expression 2, but it will not look at the expression 3. If you clearly observe, if the execution point will, if it looks at the third expression as well, then the value of I becomes 1. But if you look at the console what I have printed out, the initial value it prints out as 0, because first time it will look at the expression 1 and 2, not at the third expression. But when it comes back for the next iteration, then it will not look at expression 1, it will look at the expression 2, whether the condition is true or false. If the condition is still true, then it will look at the expression 3, where we are adding by 1 value, so the value of I becomes 1. Then it will print the value of I, then it will come back again to for loop, then it will check the expression is true or false, then like this it will go. The point is very simple. Once you start execution, the JVM will look at the expression 1 as well as 2 at the first time. Let me place a debug point here and let me execute. So when I execute, this will be looking at the expression 1 and 2, hence the value of I will be 0 and the condition will be less than 10, or condition will be true. When I press F6, here it says value of I is 0, but when I press F6 again, it will add by 1, because expression 2 as well as 3 will be considered this time. When you consider third expression, obviously it will add one more value, hence the value become 1. Now the value is 9. When I press F6, it becomes 10, hence the condition is not true, hence the execution has come out of the loop. There is another kind of for loop, that is nested for loop. The nested for loop is nothing but using one for loop in another for loop. That is what we call as nested for loop. You can use n number of for loops inside the one for loop, so so many condition will be checked first and so many values will be displayed at the console. Here I have used a nested for loop, that is I have created one for loop, and inside this for loop I have created one more for loop. Here I am giving the values something like int I equals to 0, I is less than 5 and I plus plus, and the value of I am printing at the line number 25. Inside another inside this for loop I have created another for loop where I am saying int j equals to 0, j less than 5 and j plus plus. When I start executing, first it will verify whether I is less than the I value is less than 5. Yes, it is true, hence it will get executed the line number 25 and it will print the value as 0 first time. Then it will verify the condition of j, that is j is less than 5, of course yes, hence it will execute the line number 27 and it will print the value of j as 0. But it will not, the iterator will not go back to line number 24, because the for block which is there inside the for is not yet completed, hence it will come back to line number 26 and it will verify the condition, yes it is true, and it will add one more value, hence the value of j will print out as 1, then again 2, value of j is 3, 4, when it becomes 5, the condition becomes false, hence the control will go back to line number 24. Again it will check for the condition of I. Yes, condition of I is this time 1, that is less than 5, hence the condition is true. So the value of I this time will get printed as 1. Again it will look at the j value, and it will print out 4 messages from this piece of code, so that the total messages what I'm going to get out in the console is 25 messages. Let me execute this piece of code. Here is the result. So first time it will display value of I as 0 here, then comes to the line number 26, and it will verify the condition as well as value of j. Yes, it is first time 0. Next time it will come back again to line number 26, but it will add 1, hence it will display I value as 1, 2, 3 and 4. When I value becomes 5, the condition will become false, so the control will go back to 24 line number. Again it will say I value is this time 1, last time it was 0, this time it is 1. Again the value of j will get iterated for 5 times, then value of I becomes 2, like that it will go on. So total I have got almost 25 messages in the console if we use a nested for loop. Like that you can use one more for loop here inside the for loop. So you can declare a value something like k, I mean variable name as k, so and so. This is what we call as nested for loop. We can also define the variable outside the for loop, as I said, but you should have the format or the signature of for loop. In this way we have to say semicolon separated, and there is another semicolon to separate expression 2 and 3. You can define the variable outside the for loop. Here is the simple example. Not only that, if you want to declare 2 variables in the same for loop, yes, you can do it by separating those values or the variables should be separated by a comma, otherwise it will not get used it, or it will not accept. Here also we can use the third expression with the different variables, that is I plus plus as well as j plus plus, but remember the condition should be using only one variable, that is I or j. You cannot give I equals to 0 comma I equals to 5, or sorry, here you cannot give I less than 10 comma j less than 10. No, it cannot be accepted. The condition must be of only one variable. When I execute, I am going to get the value out here saying value of I and j are so on. So that is first time it will be 0 0, next time it will be 1 1 2 2, like that it will iterate. Next type of for loop is advanced for loop or for each loop. This for each or advanced for loop is implemented in the Java version 1.5 or later versions. Below this there was no advanced for loop. This advanced or for each loop is very helpful in case of array as well as collections. So don't worry about array or collections at this time. If you want to know what is collection or array, you can look at the other videos in the website. So to give brief idea what is array, array is nothing but group of elements having same data type. It may be something like integer or string or objects. How the syntax will be? The syntax is we have to use for keyword as usual, all small, and in the off bracket, instead of declaring the variable, initializing, separating by semicolon, and having a condition as well as increment operator, we have to use a variable here with a data type, and then we have to separate by colon, then we have to place that collection or array. Let us see the simple example here. I have created a program having a array called string, and the name of array is names. Inside the curly bracket, I have given 4 different names, that is Deepa, Roja, Maina and Amruta. If I want to retrieve these names, I am using advanced or for each loop. Here I have used for of string, that is data type of my variable, sorry, the array. The array data type here is string, so I have to use string only. If you use int, then it will not accept, because the array type what I have given should be used here in the for loop of condition. So I have used data type as string, and I have defined one more variable, that is name. So the array is names. The variable what I have created using string data type is name. So when I start executing, first it will count how many values are there in that array, that is length of array. It will get calculated from the backend. Then it will start assigning names each one by one. For example, when I start executing, names will get names string array is going to get first name, that is Deepa, at the right hand side. Then it will pass on to left hand side variable, that is name, and it will print out in the system.out.println as a Deepa. Then again it will come back to for loop, because the length of array is more than 1. I think this time it will be 4. That's why the for loop will get executed 4 times, and it will display the values. Here is the same example I have used. So I have defined a string array, and the name of array is names, and assigned the values. Now the same array name I have used here at the right hand side. Then I have used for loop string name. Don't get confused with these names and names. If you want, you can give any other variable. Only thing is, the value it will take to names first, then it will assign to AB value, sorry, variable, then it will print out. Then the execution will come back to for loop again. It will take the second name to names, and it will assign from right hand to left hand side of variable, that is AB. Then second value is Rosa, it will get here and it will print out here. Again it will come back, it will take the third value, that is Maina, to names, and this will assign to AB, then it will print out here. So when you execute this piece of code, this will say names are, first time it is Deepa, then Roja, then Maina, and last one is Amruta. So this is how we can use advanced or for each loop. This for each or advanced for loop is very helpful in case of retrieving the array values or collection values. Last one is switch. What is this switch? The switch is very helpful in case of directly going to the variable and taking the value and printing out. Let us look at the syntax first, and then we'll understand how to use the syntax switch and what is the advantage of switch over other control statements. Here is the simple syntax where we are going to use a keyword called switch, then followed by expression. You have to place a expression, then we have to use another keyword called case, then you have to place value. If the case is matching to the switch condition, then that particular statement will get executed. If not, it will go to the second or third or fourth cases, then it will check whether the condition is true or false. Based upon the condition true or false, the statements which are present inside that case will get executed if provided condition is true. Like that, there is a one more keyword we have to use is break. If we use break, the condition will get execute, and the statement will get displayed, and it will break the execution, and it will come out of the switch loop. Otherwise it will continue to the next cases. So we have to use break. That is of course optional. If you want to break the execution, you can use, otherwise you can just leave it, so remaining cases will get executed. There is another keyword called default. Default in the sense it will execute after executing all of the classes. Let us see that with example. Before jumping into switch, let us take let me take one more simple example. Think that I have different variables here, something like 6 different variables I have defined, something like a equals to 10, int b equals to 20, c so and so. Now I want to verify the condition of my variables. I will use if loop. If I say if a equals to 5, yes, condition is false, this statement will not get execute. Then it will check for the b condition, then c condition. Of course b as well as c values are different, hence the condition, the statement present inside that if loop will not get execute. Likewise it will come to the condition where I am checking the d value. Of course the value is 40 here, and the same value assigned at the line number 9, so the condition becomes true. The statement present inside the if block will get executed, and it will continue to check for e as well as f. If you observe closely, think that I have given condition true at the line number 9, that is for the variable d, but it is verifying the condition for a, b, c as well, even though condition is true at the d level, d variable. And even after verifying and condition is true, it will verify e as well as f. Think that we have 100 variables, and I have given 100 if loops, okay, and at the 70th variable is true. So if I execute, it will start verifying from the first variable, that is first if block, then second if block, then it will go on till 17th if block. Yes, it is true. Then the statement which is there inside that if block will get execute. Then it will start verifying for the 71, 72 variables as well till 100 variables. It's a kind of time consuming. So instead of this way, is there a way directly the execution has to go to the place where the condition is true? If condition is true, then execute the piece of code inside the true condition block. Then don't again verify remaining piece of codes or the conditions. So it will use, or it will save lot of time. So in that case we can go for using switch case. Let us comment this piece of code, and here is the switch case what I have used. Here I have given variable value as 2, the variable name is j equals to 2. Here I am using the expression that is switch of j, and we have to use keyword called case. Here it says it verifies first whether case value is matching. No, here it is a -3, but variable value is 2, so it will not get executed. But it will not verify, or it will not come to the line number 35 and verify. It will not come to the 38 line, and it will not verify. Instead of that, directly it will go to the place or the case where the condition is matching. In my example, the condition is getting matched at the line number 44, where I have given value as 2. Hence the statement present inside that case will get execute, and since I used break statement, the condition will the condition execution will get break here, and it will not verify the cases present after that case. Of course, there is a default keyword. This piece of code will get executed if no matches are found. For example, here I have used 2. Of course, this will get executed, the piece of code present inside, and it will print out the j value and it will come out of it. If I make it the value as 10, then no cases are matching. At that time, the default block will going to execute. Let me execute this piece of code, then let me change the value of j. When I execute, the value of j is 2. It is displaying here, since the condition is true for the case which is present at the line number 44. Let me make the value as 4. Right. So if you place one okay, let me place one breakpoint at the line number 33, and let me execute in debug mode. Let me remove all of these already added into expression, and let me add value variable j to expression. So when I press F6, the value of j is 4, and it verifies the case, and directly it will go to the line where case is matching instead of verifying in between the cases. Now it will print the value of j and it will come out of it. Like that it will work. Let me make it value something like 10, and there are no cases matching to the value of j because maximum value I have given is 4. So this will not verify all of these cases. Instead of, it will directly come to the default block, and it will execute the message present inside the default block, that is none of the above messages getting printed here. Thanks for watching this video. For any doubts or clarification or feedbacks, please contact us at info@qascripts.com or qascripts25@gmail.com. Thank you again.